Hey guys, Axton here, and welcome to a Hitchhiker's Guide for Dark Souls 2. So, the premise of a Hitchhiker's Guide is to generally start your character with literally next to nothing. I'm going to throw all this equipment that I got for the pre-order bonuses just over into the collection box. So we'll just move over to the bonfire and light the first one in the game and throw all these items in the item box. Now the only other choice I chose besides a deprived was a human effigy. If you guys have seen the starting video for the game, you'll find that during that time the hags give you a human effigy, so I thought, well, to keep in line with that, I'll take that as the starting gift, but nothing else. So we'll move all the pre-order bonuses off into the item box. Won't be using them for the playthrough, we'll just be using whatever we find on our way, and that'll probably be about it. So just introduce you guys here to Cold Larry. Obviously he's cold for a reason, and pretty soon hopefully we can fix that. So we'll just grab the torch and Soul of the Lost Undead here, but I will be doing a bit of backtracking here and moving upstairs. And up here is a chest containing, if I remember correctly, another human effigy. We'll probably need this on the way anyway. Yeah, there we go, it was a human effigy. So there's a few items during the starting area that you can collect on your way here. A lot of those items are pretty easy to collect on the way through. There's nothing here in this area that really attacks you besides the Cyclops, which we'll get to. But the problem with the Cyclops is there's been a few occasions where I've attempted to take a new character up there, even before the character creation, and he aggroes on you as soon as you get close. So don't attempt with the starting character to head up there. You could be successful, but I wouldn't advise it. After you've created your character, which I'll show you shortly, you're actually able to sneak in there and he won't aggro until you picked up the item, which I believe is a gold pine resin, which you use to imbue your weapons with life. So just through here is up to where the Cyclops is. As you can see by the footprints, he's a rather large guy. I won't be attempting to take him on, but as you can see, he's not too interested in me until I pick up the item, and yeah, we're hightailing it out of here. You can head back the other way if you really want to, but you can risk getting hit by him. So generally coming back this way, you're not going to miss anything. And it just makes it easier for you to see the next item which I'm going for, which is just down there off the bridge. So you can access that just by coming down through the bushes here, as someone else obviously has found. So smooth and silky stones, you can use them for two things. You can use them to generate a bit of extra health just by using them as an item. Otherwise you can hold on to them and you can give them to a couple of NPCs which people have dubbed the Crows. They do have particular names which evade me right at this moment, but I'll look that up probably for the next episode here. So we're just entering the first fog wall for the part of the tutorial. Those stones that you see on the right there, you can walk up to them and read them, and gives you the information how to perform certain tasks. This is the introduction area, so the enemies don't pose too much of a challenge, so we'll just beat the crap out of them for now. Gain a few extra souls. If you really want to, you can just skip this area and just head straight up through to Majula, but we'll be working our way through here as there's a couple of items and also a weapon which will come in handy, which is a dagger, and that's probably about as far as we go. Quite surprising, you can do a backstab attack even without a weapon. So a lot of people are trying to do run-throughs these days as unarmed, or even using cestus or castus, whichever you prefer to pronounce them. I believe it's pronounced cestus. They're leather-bound gloves with studs. So we found our first weapon, which is a dagger. So in the true meaning of survivalism, we'll equip that. And I believe this guy has a bow and arrow. Oh, wasn't quick enough to dodge that. So that's not a good start. So we just added a couple of punches as well, just to get them down. The one thing you try to avoid here on the PC version is a lot of people have been mentioning on the Steam forums that by attacking enemies after they've died, it can cause large degradation in the item durability, which you can see there just as the red bar underneath the dagger. It does affect shields as well. Doesn't really affect armor. And you can repair your items just by visiting a bonfire. You don't need to purchase anything. Now, this is where the crows are. So they tend to try and talk to you here.
You, give us smooth. Yes, you, give us silky.
So that's just the prompting to let you know that they like the smooth and silky stones, but they also take more than that as well. They can give you healing items as well as weapons as well. A lot of the time, if you use a rusted coin, I think it was called. Yeah, rusted coin. Temporary boosts your luck on item drops as well. So it just gives you that little extra bit of luck, making it easy to find items. Now, a few people have actually done a video on this for the Dark Souls 2 wiki, and they recommended that if you use that as well as a few other things before leaving your smooth and silky stones or even a petrified something there, you've got a higher chance of actually getting a weapon drop or something a bit nicer. So we're just going to continue on through here. Oh, traded blows. There's nothing in this area that I can think of now. I am using the double button press for B for the jumps. Oh, nearly rolled off the edge there. I just find it a lot easier as I played quite a bit of Dark Souls 1, and the way they changed it for using the Xbox controller on computer, by default I think it's pressing in one of the left stick or right stick buttons, I can't recall which, and I just didn't find it comfortable. Some of you may, but I guess it's up to everyone to find their own comfortable use. So we'll just dive on this guy. Oh, get out of the way. A lot of people have also mentioned that using keyboard and mouse in Dark Souls 2 is quite decent, but personally I prefer to use the controller. It just feels a little bit more natural. So we'll just pick up this cracked red eye orb. I don't think I'll be doing any invasions during the Hitchhiker's Guide here. But if I get enough comments and people wanting me to try a few, and if Sad Larry's in a good state to actually try, then we may end up doing a few. I'll probably create just an episode on Larry doing some invasions here, but we'll just have to see how we go. So we'll just wait for him to fire, and then we'll push this down. So as it's moving, we'll just run through here, and oh, traded blows. Okay, and there's another one down. So, do we have anything? Yes, we do. I'm going to need to use a life gem here before I drop down. If I miss this guy with the drop stab, I would more than likely die. So he's just down there. Just target him up. And one of the easier ways is actually running off of the ledge. So as you see, I lost a bit of health there, and there's an archer just up on the wall behind us. So we'll just wait until he fires, dodge out the way. Nah, I'm stuck. Okay, we'll try this again, and we'll climb up here. So you can hold down B to, and we'll finish him off. No, behind us. Nah, okay. So you can hold down B while climbing ladders to actually climb ladders a bit quicker. It really depends on what's above the ladder if you can really risk doing that. Because climbing ladders actually depreciates your stamina as you're rushing. So just get him out of the way. It's almost done. So as you can see, there's a Cyclops down there. There's the sex change coffin, as people like to call it. You can come back here anytime and use it, and by jumping in, it'll change your character from male to female or vice versa. Just down here as well on the right hand side is a ambushed Cyclops, so we'll just head down here and you can see him just there as well. At this stage I'm not going to take him out, so I haven't messed around too much in actually being able to kill them without using ranged. So there's the starting area done. So we've moved through here, we've grabbed everything, and we were lucky enough to grab a dagger. So now we're going to move out of things betwixt and move into Majula. So all the other character messages are coming up. Yeah, that's very good. Weakness rear. A lot of people like to throw in the odd comments here and there about the NPCs, especially the female ones. Some people find it funny, some people, well, some of it's just eye rolling, but it can be entertaining. Now, down here is a bit of a secret ledge with a few items, especially if you're a cleric down here. Jumping down here is quite easy, just take it slow. And down here you'll find a Morning Star and the Cleric's Sacred Chime. Now, starting as a cleric, it's pretty handy, and the Morning Star for any real build is quite decent. And just over here is binoculars. They can be very handy for trying to snipe enemies, especially if you can't get a good lineup on them. Don't attempt to pull the binoculars out and play with it as soon as you pick them up. I've seen a couple of blood spots along that wall where people have picked it up, played with it, and it's pushed them off the ledge. So here we are in Majula. Just activate the first bonfire here. And we'll just rest so that we can fix up the dagger. So the first person you're going to want to talk to is just down here. So this is the Emerald Herald. She's going to assist with leveling up.
Are you the next monarch? Or merely a pawn of fate? Bearer of the curse, I will remain by your side till this frail hope shatters. Take this with you. May it ease your journey.
So she's just given us an Estus flask. Those of you who haven't played Dark Souls 2 before, or even Dark Souls.
Go on and see the king. He who made Drangleic what it once was. He who peered at the essence of the soul. King Vendrick.
Okay, so as I was saying, because I didn't want to talk over the NPC there, for those of you that are interested in the storyline and the lore. Now, the Estus flask is pretty much your main restoration. Now, you drink it to restore your HP. You'll only start off with one. She'll only give you one. And from there, you can recharge it at any time by visiting the bonfires, much like your durability on your items, also for your health as well, and you can also get rid of like nasty debuffs like poison or curses by sitting at the bonfire if you're not being pursued by enemies. So we'll just pick up this life gem. We'll definitely need that on our playthrough. And we'll move over here and collect our first Estus shard. Now the Estus Flask shards, you take them back to the Emerald Herald and you hand them in, and she gives you an upgrade to your Estus Flask, just allowing you an extra Estus Flask per visit to the bonfire. So these will fix up each time.
Bearer of the curse, seek misery. For misery will lead you to greater, stronger souls. You will never meet the king with a soul so frail and pallid. Seek those whose names are unutterable, the four endowed with immense souls. Their souls will serve as beacons. Once you have found them, return here to me, so that hope will not fade away. Is that a shard you found? Here, let me see it, so that I may help you. To see light, to see hope, however faint it might be.
So just select Upgrade Estus Flask, and just give the Flask shard. Now you can see down the bottom there we've got 2 Estus Flasks, so that'll definitely aid us in our journey there as well. Now for the other items in this area that we'll just collect, there is just one here to the right. It's another life gem and also a soul of a nameless soldier. And of course here's the blacksmith. We won't talk to him just yet, he's just asking us to try and find a key so that we can open up his blacksmith shop. Now up there to the right is to a covenant. Now we're not going to go up to that one. That one by memory increases the difficulty level of the whole game if you enter the covenant, and the only way to fix that if you find it too much of a challenge is to go and see the cat merchant there in Majula, which I will show you guys very shortly. Just going to head down here towards Hyde's Tower of Flame, but we're not going there just yet. I'm just coming down here to collect a shield. So there's the Crimson Palmer, and we'll just equip that for now. So Larry may still be quite cold, but at least he's got some protection now. So we'll just head back up through the mechanism and back up through into Majula. Looks like a lot of people have tried to kill the NPC at the mechanism. All those bloodstains. So the next part we'll visit is just over inside here in the armor merchant's building. So we don't need to talk to him at all. We won't actually be buying any items. And this chest just up here contains a Titanite shard. You can use these shards to upgrade your items and your armor, give them more damage or a bit more durability or mitigation. And then of course over here we have the cat merchant. So if you ever bring into a covenant that you didn't want to join, you can come here and speak to the cat, and you can check your current Covenant rating, or you can actually leave the Covenant altogether on your character.
Oh, undead are we? And one without much time remaining. Just about ready to fall apart, I'd say. Not exactly the time to be chatting with a cat. Well, suit yourself. Oh yes, you may call me Shalqua. Enchanté. So, what did you want anyway? Ooh, you smell wonderful.
So she sells many items, especially rings. The main one that would catch your eye here is the Silver Cat ring, which reduces damage from falling. Now, a lot of people have mentioned that this is one of the ways to get down to through the hole that's here in Majula. I personally haven't tried it. I haven't been down there as yet through my current playthrough. Probably about halfway through the game on my furthest character, but I decided to start this series as I know the first part of the game quite well, and thought I'd make it a bit more challenging instead of using my knight. So you can also purchase prism stones. They can be handy, but a lot of people don't tend to use them. You know, they emit light, mark one's path, but you don't really need them in Dark Souls 2. So far the areas I've found are pretty linear, so it's not very hard, not very easy to get lost. You can also purchase these and hand them in over at the Crow's Nest as well, but you don't get any decent high-end items by using them. So there is a scale of the items that you can leave and use at the Crow's Nest to get beneficial items. So I'll probably play around with that a bit later. So from here you can also abandon Covenant. You can also check the Covenants that you're a part of at the moment.
Nothing
We're not part of
suited
anything.
you, I presume? Well, that's dismaying.
I think we'll leave Larry Covenantless just to begin with. If there's a particular Covenant that you wish Larry to join, please leave a comment, and the most popular one I'll attempt to pursue. So just on a further note here, there's one more item in the area, so I'll just run up this way, and here it is. So that's a Divine Blessing. Now, a Divine Blessing is an item which also heals you, as well as fully cures all status effects. So as you can see there, it's just a holy water and down with Divine Blessing. So while we're here in the inventory, I'll select the stones there, and while we've got some souls, we'll level Larry up a bit, just to give him a bit more survivability before moving on into the Giant's Forest.
Bearer of the curse. Seek souls. Larger, more powerful souls. Seek the king. That is the only way. Lest this land swallow you whole, as it has so many others.
Nope. I forgot to use the souls. So the best part about Dark Souls 2 here is they've fixed this up so you can use the souls multiples at a time instead of standing there breaking
But lest
breaking them one at a time. So we'll just level up here, so we've got a fair amount we can actually use now. So what I'll be doing to begin with is just adding 10 to strength. 8 to strength, and we'll go 8 in dexterity, as quite a few items to begin with, from what I can recall, requires dexterity as well as strength. So we're just going to bypass the bonfire and we'll move down in this direction. As you can see, there's a lot of blood stains here. People obviously trying to get the binoculars from the opposite direction. Okay. I would probably suggest that the way I showed you at the beginning of the video here is definitely the easiest way. So you'll be fine if you do it that way and not attempt to do jump rolling off the cliff. So we'll just pick up another rusted coin. We have 2 now. There's no real point in using them at this stage. I still haven't actually had to use one as yet, but you'll move around to the left here. Pull on this switch, and this will open up the gate. Now, the gate won't let you through until it's fully raised, but it does close quite quickly. So just try and move through, and if you caught that, if you weren't quick enough, it would close in your face. So we'll just move down into the river area here, head across the bridge. Now we'll be heading to the right shortly, but if you head around here to the left and walk along this plank, now be careful, if you fall off you will have to run back from the bonfire. I believe it's a human effigy in here as well. Yep. And that means we should have 3 in our possession at the moment. So, you probably saw the item in the body down there just past the chest. We'll have to go around an opposite way to get there, as attempting to go from the chest over there will fall into deep water. So if you just walk up and around, as you can see there's a floor, kind of ends, so you don't want to try to come from the chest over. I don't believe you can jump, it's a bit too far of a distance. So we've got a Homeward Bone and Soul of a Lost Undead here as well. So we'll use that on our next trip back to Majula. So we are in the Valley of the Giants. Hopefully we don't aggro any of these guys. Yep, we have. So these guys are pretty simple moveset. They just kind of slash. I don't even think I'd really need to raise my shield against them. So, oh, he's dropped an item already. A bandit's knife. Alright, we'll hold on to that, and I'll check out the stats shortly to see if it's a bit better than our dagger here. So we've got another item, another life gem. Okay, wonderful. So we'll just make our way down here and turn to the right, and make our way to the first bonfire. So we'll just rest here for the time being, and I hope you've all enjoyed the first episode. Thanks very much for watching.